Good day, everyone. Welcome to today meetup. Today we are going to talk about the session AWS Bedrock Agent. As part of the learning with hands-on with the AJ series, this is the fourth session we are handling. In the previous session, we have seen introduction about the Bedrock and how to use the SageMaker canvas. And also the next session, last session, we have seen AWS knowledge base. This session, we are going to talk about AWS Bedrock Agent. Okay. Uh, Let me share my screen, and this session, as much as we are going to have a hands-on, we are also going to have some level of theoretical concept to be covered. Let me quickly go with the details. Okay, hope you are able to see my screen. Thank you. Okay, today agenda. Let's get into the today agenda. Okay, so let us understand. I'll give a quick primer about chain of thoughts and give a recap about the AWS knowledge base we have seen in our previous session. And we touch upon the Bedrock agent, the concept and the terminology. Then we also touch upon how the Bedrock agent and knowledge base can work together, followed by the demo. Okay, let me get started. Okay, so. And I think you guys can share my screen. Yes, shared. Yeah, you are able to see my screen now. I shared the screen, I started recording. Okay, these are the previous three sessions. Anybody who was interested into this session, please feel free to go ahead and have a session and look at the session. And this series, most of the tasks will go as a hands-on. So I recommend you guys to follow the code or follow along this video and try to practice at your convenient time. Okay, quick introduction about chain of thoughts. I'm not going in depth. Why do we need to talk about the chain of thoughts? We have seen the prompting in our previous session about few-shot prompting, one-shot prompting, and this zero-shot prompting. On the same time, we were touched upon what is called chain of thoughts. Okay, if anybody more interested into that particular session, let me put up that into the screen. We have the class prompting session with the examples with the live code. I'm going to share that is using the foundation model only we had. This is the session. I'll put it in a description. Here we touched upon the prompting, zero-shot prompting, few-shot prompting, and also chain of thoughts. Okay, today we are going to touch upon the chain of thoughts for two reasons. One, we want to have understanding about how this agent works. For that, this is a very basic concept. Let's take a standard prompting. Okay, if there is a question says that Roger has a 5 tennis ball, he buys 2 more cans of tennis ball. Each has a 3 tennis ball. How many tennis ball does he have? The answer comes properly because the question was framed in a sequential or linear or proper prompts, I would say. But if you ask the second question, the cafeteria had 33 apples, and if they used 20 to make a lunch and bought 6 more, how many apples are? So the answer will come as at 27 because it will not able to break down the task. Okay. So the chain of thoughts for a very high level or basic understanding we can say is it will break the questions and find the reasoning in the questions and answer based on it. Okay. So if you are looking at the agents at the high level, agents will understand the requirement, chunk down the problem statement, and take action according to the problem based on the reasoning. So this anybody interested into this paper, feel free to look at this paper. This information also taken from that paper only. So it can work at the arithmetic or common sense or symbolic reasoning task. Okay, so by the way, with the better way of prompting, you will get the better response. Okay, that is a high level of a quick overview of the chain of thoughts. Let me go to the next slide where I'm talking about retrieval augmented generation. I think this one we have spoken brief, and this is a most adapted technique in any enterprises when it comes to the large language model or generative AI use case for two reasons. Of course, they want to avoid hallucination and they want to connect with their internal data and make sure the data is ground truth with the internal data, and it will use the power of the large language model and respond. So it has a two tasks. One is about the ingestion, where you take the data. The data can be in S3 or it can be in a Confluence or it can be in a website. It will crawl the data, chunk the data, and store it into the vector database. This is the ingestion process. Okay. And the next time when the user prompt the query, they take that response and they use the embedding model and convert that into the vector and search it in the knowledge base or the vector store we have stored and find out the top response from the vector store along with the query with the response from the vector data store. It will send us a input to the large language model where you get the response in a natural conversational manner, and this will be received by the user. So it can be widely used in a chatbot. If anybody interested into this session, feel free to check up on our previous session knowledge base. We have briefly talked about it with the live demo. Let me put that information also here. So I got a very good response for the knowledge base session last time. I would say, yeah, this is the session I'm talking about, okay, where we touched upon the knowledge base in a very brief manner, okay. And I almost got 4.2K view on this. A lot of queries, a lot of people asked the questions about this use case and multiple use cases on the LinkedIn. I'm really happy that we have touched upon this, okay. Let us go to the next topic. Next, go to the next slide. Okay. Bedrock Agent. What is Bedrock Agent? So it allow to my understanding at the high level, it automate the workflow in a better manner and leveraging the large language model and use the knowledge base also give a better response. Okay. Let me give an example. How we book a flight, how we book the any vacation. We first need to go check on the website and we need to check on the flights, then we need to book, we need to give a card and everything. Imagine you have created the Bedrock agent. You can type your question, say I want to visit some location. Take an example, I want to visit Lakshadweep. Okay, it will give you the response of what are all the locations we have in Lakshadweep, but this data they will take it from within your website. Okay, you can use this not vector database which we have spoke before. Okay, so the response which we come get from the chat is ground truth with our knowledge base. Okay, and then we are asking, okay, I like this hotel, can you book? If you give this enter, the agent will take your request, understand the history, and it will invoke the API call, or if you are processing via some lambda function in the API gateway and book a reservation, it will store in a DynamoDB, just giving a high level. So it will take over all this task and do it. Imagine suddenly you change of your mind. If you say cancel the my trip, if you give a cancel, what will happen? It will invoke the API for the cancellation, and it will detect it will do the cancellation and it will return the money back to your account. This complete flow can be automated by this, but using the Bedrock agent at the high level. Okay. So first is, as I mentioned, autonomous configuration, where you can build your application based on, and it will automatically respond based on your user input. Okay. And orchestration capability. I shown you the use case, right? End to end, where connected to the data source or your downstream systems like via API calls, everything you can do this orchestration. Okay. API integration, knowledge base application. Of course, I mentioned it can use the third party API. Let's say if you want to book a flight via calling a third party API, you can use a third party API by configured with new workflow in agents. Okay. And the knowledge base invocation is nothing but I mentioned. If you with a response want to come from within your website, within your data, this knowledge base invocation come into this. So automated task completion, yes, it will do the end-to-end um, task based on how we are orchestrating. Okay. So terminology, when come to the Bedrock, this is more about what is a Bedrock agents, how it work. In this terminology, we have agent. Agent, you can have multiple agents, but and after that you have agent builder. Under the agent builder, you are orchestrating the complete workflow. Under that action group, let's say you want to call one API to book a flight, call one API to book a hotel. That is, each one is a action, and it will be bundled as an action group. Of course, you need to give us a open API schema where it will define the orchestration, okay, get call or post call or delete information. I mentioned the delete the booking, right? For that orchestration, everything will be defined in open API. And here we are using a lambda function to make a business logic and do the computing. Um, yeah, that is how we can do it in using Bedrock Agent. But overall, without Bedrock Agent, I had to look at the high level concept of what is agents. You can do all those things via your program itself. Take an example of LangChain. You can completely do most of this work via LangChain framework also, but you have to code and you need to do everything by orchestrating with the library from the LangChain. But using a Bedrock agent, you can do intuitively in a UI, and moreover, in a single pane of glass, you can find the trace of why this response is happening with the proper traces. We will check all those things. So this is a Bedrock agent high-level workflow I have mentioned before. You submit the task, say, what is my claim status? The moment you submit that task, it will use a large language model and chunk down your request. Will say, I bought a claim 2 days back and I have met an accident and I'm raising the claim, and this is my claim ID. Previous month I don't have, previous year I don't have any history. If you're giving this as a text input, it will break down this and orchestrate in a step by step. Uh, and then it will send a request back to this API, where if it need to process the claim or it need to run some API call to get your history and all your knowledge base about your claims history, everything will be in a knowledge base. If they need to process that once it gets the data, if you want to process the claim, it automatically process the claim via API call. This can be work in together for better enterprise, or you can use only one, like only AP, third-party API, you can do it without using an AWS Bedrock knowledge base. But if you want the data to in enterprise, the data has to be grounded with your own enterprise data. So knowledge base would be the ideal option. So you get the response, then you send it back to the large language model where it will take out all the response and give the natural language. It will create a text generation with a natural language and send it back to the user. This complete flow you can do it in a Bedrock agent. While we are going to the demo in a step by step, you will have a better understanding. Okay, so this is a flow which I have given you in a previous session. So when the users submit their request via chatbot, the request will be processed by the Bedrock agent. Okay, and all the configuration, everything will be set to your agent builder, and we will use the UI to create a agent build end to end, and the agent will use a large language model to break the task into the using a chain of thoughts technique in the complex task into the simpler manner, and that response will be stated, and based on that it will make a API invocation, or it will go check the data into the knowledge base. Okay, all this orchestration we do it in action group, then we get the response, and each action is associated with the one API schema, okay, to make a post call or get call or delete call. Okay, so once it's done for the API request, okay, Once it's done, the response generated by the orchestrator uh, will be sent back to the large language model, which will parse the response and send it back as a final output to the chatbot or application interface. This is a high level of Bedrock agent workflow at a high level. Okay. Okay, today we are going to see the example of insurance claim lifecycle automation. I will try to do step by step. Uh, let me So I'll before going there, I'll give you a preface of what we are trying to do. The insurance agent will submit the text, create a new client. What will happen? It will take that as a prompt, and it will maintain the conversation history and everything. Okay, so we do the designing of this complete task using our agent builder. Then it will use the prompt. Um, Chain of thought or the React technique to break down the task, and based on that it will give you the API call. Based on that it will send to the API call with the create claim, or it will whether it open claim, or if you want to send a reminders, so it will do it. So take a API call. If needed, it will check the data in the knowledge base here to before responding, and also it will invoke the lambda function to uh, uh, process the it will use the lambda function to get the data from the. If you want to create claim, you need to update the DynamoDB. Here we are using DynamoDB. In real time, if you have different database, you need to update the database. Okay, so it will use OpenAI schema and a lambda function where we given our program of we written in a Python function say if it is a create claim, use this OpenAI API schema and update this database information. Okay. So you get and while it is responding back, it will use the same large language model and process the response from there using the Bedrock model and send output in a natural language manner. Okay. So that's all the high level workflow. So this is the high level steps we are going to do. First, to create the assets, data for the knowledge base, lambda function, and schema files. We will break down the task and go one by one. So I am at the AWS console. So first thing is we need to have a data set. Okay, so here is three knowledge base customer resource. Under that agent, under that knowledge base asset. These are all the information we have. Okay, I will download and show you this file. And this is one PDF file. These are all the data. First, we are updating for our knowledge base. In enterprise, it can be in your databases also, or your skill. This is a policy. It's a claim amount. See, this is a claim amount. This is a vehicle claim amount and property claim amount, insurance claim amount. Okay, this is the policy holder. This is a claim ID. Let us note down the claim ID. Okay, so let's keep it here. Okay, this is the claim ID. Let us keep it here. Let us get the one more document we download, right? Accidental image doc. So it's a Word document. Let us see what is there in the Word document. So these are all the information you needed if you want to submit any ascent image. They are expecting you to submit this information. These are the data we have. The data will be in a doc format or data will be in a PDF format. If you look at our last knowledge base session we have, and it is there in an XLS format also. We taken this data and we updating on our knowledge base. So AWS Bedrock. So I'm recalling again what these are the steps. First, data for the knowledge base. I'm going to the knowledge base. I'm in a North Virginia region. Go to the knowledge base. Here I'm using the knowledge base of yeah, here it is. I am storing that, taking the data from this particular location, knowledge base asset, and using the Titan embedding model. And if you look at our previous demo of the knowledge base, we shown how to do it in Pinecone. We are using the Pinecone for the database. You can use the vector search also. We chunked it and we synced the data. Okay, if you want, I can sync the data on. Fantastic. Okay, it's ready. It's synced and ready. Okay. Last sync is 11:23. Yeah, we synced the data. Fantastic. We did the first task of data for the knowledge base. Now we will ask some question. Select the model. Let's say first we test the knowledge base whether the data is coming. First question, do we have a claim ID? Do we have claim ID? So it is retrieving the data from the knowledge base and responding. Yes, yes, we have a claim ID. And it show you the source detail, the PDF file which we open. Okay. So fantastic. The knowledge base is working as expected. Okay. Let's go to the next step of lambda function and schema file. Okay, we have a 3 lambda function. Okay, where is the lambda function? Okay, here it is. Lambda function. Here, lambda function. We have multiple lambda function for the agent. We have created the function. This is to send a reminder, create a claim, and gather the evidence. Okay, if we look at this function, let's say create claim function, gather a minute. Send. These are the functions. Configuration. Here, let's say the we have. Okay, it is using this SNS topic to send a claim information. I configured my email ID for that. Okay, so inside the code, it will use the DynamoDB, get this information, and open that claim. Okay, from the existing tables and generate the remainder where it send the remainder to the SNS message. That's what it is doing. Here we are not having anything related to the Bedrock. Here we have only the application logic of how to send it. Okay, but here we are going to use the yeah, we have only for the action group we have for the invocation. This is to gather the evidence if you want to have any gather the evidence of the Bedrock, sorry, insurance claim. So we will use this particular function to gather it. Okay, of course we will use the knowledge base and use this API path. Okay, to do this one. And where is this API path comes up? Let us go to the Swagger. Swagger UI, I think so. Sign in. Let me get it. Show me as a GitHub or even. Swagger. I have updated all the Swagger information. Got So according to this step, we have covered the knowledge base. It's a PDF file. File. Okay, here we are connected the knowledge base and we connected the lambda function, schema files, and yeah, knowledge base is okay, lambda functions okay, schema files. I'm going to show it the schema files. Swagger. 1 minute. Try Swagger file. Fantastic. Okay, here it is. We have three. One is insurance claim, create insurance claim automatic API. If we look at this is the schema we are using. So it has a path as create API claim, and it has a clear description, and it has a completed the swag open API standards. It's following. It's will just do the create claim. The moment it will call, we are calling the create claim. We will give with the information to do it. Okay. So, okay, with the claim ID, policy ID, and it will be giving all the pending documentation. It will update this information in the DynamoDB. And we have something called um, insurance claim status and reminder API. This is another schema, open API information. It will go get this information and post this for any reminders or documents they need to upload. It will send the post this notification to the users via SMS. Why are we seeing this now rather than directly going to the Bedrock? Let me explain you that. Okay. So it's very important that we need to understand which screen. So stop. Okay, go to the Amazon Bedrock. Here we have the agent. Let us create an agent. If I create an agent, I need to give my agent name. Here, demo agent one, I'm giving it. I can create an agent. While giving the agent, this is what very important. This instruction is what very important, which will define the tone of what is the purpose of this agent. I'll take an example here. In this agent, I clearly told what is the don't, okay, you are an insurance agent that has access to the domain specific knowledge. You can create an insurance claim, send a pending document reminders to the policyholder, and open claims and gather the claimant evidence. You see, these are the three tasks it is giving, and we have seen the three open API which is going to execute this task. Okay, and you can also retrieve the claim amount and repair estimate information, but these are all the instruction we are clearly telling this agent of how it will be. It is going to use this to orchestrate the request and send to the action. Here we have a three action group: create claim, gather evidence, and send one. So if I go to the create claim, I'm given this lambda function. Okay, we have seen the create claim lambda function, and I have given the create claim JSON file, which is a schema file I have given. The OpenAPI schema we have seen. Then knowledge base, I have shown you the knowledge base, right? We have given the knowledge base. Okay, so you can even do this orchestration here if you want to pre-process the request. Okay, you can give the pre-process request on how it need to be done. Currently, we are using the default, we are not using anything customization, but you can do this customization here. We can modify the temperature, everything. And orchestration, you can do the custom orchestration also, but we are currently using the Bedrock and Bedrock agents knowledge base to the orchestration. Sorry, Bedrock agent uh, default features for the orchestration. These are the options you have. Okay, by doing the modification of the default one. Okay, from the prompt. If you want to do some prompt engineering, you can do it here, which will enhance or modify your response accordingly. But for now, I'm giving using the default option. Okay. So now we have using the create claim, gather evidence, and send evidence. Okay. Once you say create claim, what will happen? It will update that tables in the DynamoDB. So if I go here, tables, explore items, if I go on the existing one, we have almost 3 or 4 information we have. Let me go and say this from the, so now I have created the agent and I already created an action group and then binded this with a knowledge base. Okay. So I can give an example. I'll just give you the example. So next, it will ask this information. So I'll take it from here and put it. So you guys can do one time. I'm using a cloud model for this. Currently, only Anthropic is available, which the better Amazon Titan model is coming soon. Here in action group, create claim, you give information, select the lambda function, and pop show. I already the all the open API schema is an S3 bucket. You show this one. Okay, I can show that. Okay, create claim. We can create one just automatically. And then create claim. Here, create claim function schema. Okay, you can do. This is the agent builder. We are completely building the agent via UI. Okay. So next, you can map the knowledge base or you can ignore the knowledge base if you're only having a third-party API call and you don't want any of you don't have a requirement to use the local database, you can use the OpenAPI. So next, I can create a multiple action group here, like how I have created here. Then bind with the knowledge base, which we have created before. That's all. Let's go and test here the agent. Okay. Create a, I'll give you the example. So let us give example, create a new client. Create a new client. Yes, if I enter, it will give you the traces of what it is trying to do. Okay. So it will invocate, it will pre-process. If you want to modify this, as I mentioned, you need to go and change the advanced parameter and change this modify. Here, I have created a new claim ID 6 and NT subject. If I go to the DynamoDB and not have, but refresh it. Now you see there is one created. Okay. And so here I'm giving a, okay, this is creating the, it is saying it's a creating a new client, appear to be a request to the create new client post call. You see, this is our understanding the prompt and it is taking a breakdown the task using a chain of thoughts. Okay, and it making a decision if we need to invoke the create client. And this is the step one, and it is using the knowledge by orchestration. Okay, whether it is using an agent, yes, it is making an agent, creating a client, it is making the agent. Okay, and here it is using the action group. This under the action group, it is taking a status, but it is not using any knowledge base. Okay, if we give, see, it is not using a knowledge base, it is using the action group action to do this one. And post processing, we don't have any, we not modify anything. Now let us give one more example. Okay, we already seen this is the one claim ID we already have 2S. Okay, this is the claim ID. We are telling send a pending document reminder. The moment I enter this in the prompt, so what does it do? It will break down the task. I think it's still taking, so tries. It's break down the task. It is saying, let's analyze the input step by step. The user is asking to send a pending document to the policy at the climate. See, this is what it is doing. It is chunked down the task uh, based on the natural language convention we said, okay. Um, and it is sending the request. It is not a molecular behavior or anything. Then it is taking the step of, okay, it is sending the action, it is doing the claim ID, notify pending documents, and it send me, let me go to my Gmail, which I configured the Gmail information. Okay. where I got email. Let me check whether I got email, a different email. Hmm, Gmail. See, it is every time I do it, it is sending here is a reminder to upload the pending documentation. And when we create a new claim ID also, I get a notification. Okay, this is what will happen. This is as part of our orchestration. So fantastic. It worked as expected. It has taken action group. It invoked the lambda function, which is needed to be done for sending a reminder information. So if we take an, okay, the notify pending document tool has written empty. Okay, it sent that information. There's no pending document for the claim ID that need to be submitted, so I cannot send the reminder to the policyholder. It is just a tool if there is no pending documents. If it is a pending document, it's a pending document. If not, it's a, let us see what is the tool. If I go ask an question like this, so what is the total repair estimate for that same claim? So this one don't have any pending claim, so it is giving this response. So let us do this one. What is the total amount for the claim? We have seen a PDF, right? Let us go to that particular PDF downloaded from the site, right? Yes, here it is. It's the vehicle claim amount also we can ask. Right. So the claim ID for the amount is $86,130. So here, let's see what is doing it. Okay, it understanding this task. Okay, what is the claim ID? And it is a straightforward question for the information about the claim ID. The user want to know that it's break down the task, and it is using the orchestration and knowledge base. Okay, so let's see whether it is invoking any API call or knowledge base. Here you see the type is knowledge base. The previously we have seen it is the type if we look at the previous one, right? So the type is action group, which is under the, it will invoke one of the action under the action group. But here, this information is coming from the knowledge base, and it is using this particular Excel file. Under this Excel file, you have this information. If you want, we can go ahead and check it. Okay, S3. Okay, knowledge base, agent, knowledge base assets. Okay, so let us pass this information, internal insurance Excel file, download this file. Let us open this. It's opening. So this is the file, right? Let's go to this again and check. It's using internal insurance FAQ. This is the knowledge base it is using. And okay, it is using this information to get the response. Okay, and step 3, yeah, the job of answer is to keep concise. It is taking a response, and the response it is coming from the total claim amount is this much dollar. And we can ask the question, what is the total repair estimate for the same? So again, it has taken a task, chunk it down, and then orchestrate, whether we will see whether it is using action group or knowledge base. Again, it is using the knowledge base, and it is using this PDF file, claims 3B. Let's go to that particular file and check it. It will not hallucinate because it will make sure it will take it from the ground truth data only. Download. use it. This is information. So the total vehicle claim amount proper. This is the information we have. Let us see what is the response we got it from the model. Is 62640. So if we go from here, vehicle claim amount to 626. So it is taken from this knowledge base. So that this, so I conclude this have given us a complete information. Create a agent, workflow, API mapping I shown, test the knowledge base also we did, test the agent also did. So hope this session give you a high level understanding of what is AWS Bedrock, what is knowledge base, and how we both work together, how we can do the end-to-end complete orchestration of the workflow using a Bedrock agent with live example. Thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in for today's session. Okay. Looking forward for the future session. I'm planning for the model evaluation and next session. I'll keep you posted about when we are going to have a next session in a meetup. Thanks again for joining. Feel free to share your feedback in YouTube or LinkedIn. You can connect with me anywhere. So that's about me. Have a great day.